Last week's chapter had us showing Sawamura taking his place as the Superman of Tokyo and Ichidai Third being pressed to the corner. Are they going to come back this chapter? Will Sawamura continue his dominance? Let's get into it. Hey everyone, Bruce, DualShock Anime here. Hope you're doing well. I am, because we're talking about the latest chapter of Diamond No Ace Act 2, Chapter 244, The Representative. SEIDOU's pictures are our main characters of this chapter. We focus heavily on them, and TJ Sensei gives us a kind of an overview of where they at following Sawamura's emergence as the Superman last chapter. And before I get into the rundown of the events of the chapter, they really do take center stage, especially with if it wasn't already on the nose with the chapter, TJ Sensei has given us a cover page of 4 of SEIDOU's pictures kind of lined up. And it's honestly one of the cooler panels I've seen from Diamond No Ace in a while. It's one of my favorite cover pages in a long time. I like how he's putting them center stage, and he's really telling us something with this chapter. We'll get into that. This is all on purpose, and I really like his message here. But we start off the chapter with Kawakami celebrating the out that Sawamura got. And he's raising his fist in support of Sawamura, and he mentions that this is how an ace of SEIDOU should be. This is how you need to be. And we see Furia come up to the bullpen with Kawakami to pitch alongside him with Okumura catching for him. And one of my favorite Furia moments, actually ever, I'm not going to lie, I got really giddy reading this just the first time through, and every time after I got just as giddy. You see Furia say that there's always a next time as long as we keep winning. And that is just chills for that moment, and especially for my boy Furia. And we see Kawakami give a slight smile, and we kind of see the connection of all the pitchers on the team, and even the coach for Ichidai Third kind of acknowledges, like, I don't know if there's anybody who can host a lineup of pitchers quite like SEIDOU can, but he does comment that in a 1-on-1 pitcher battle, only he thinks Kosei can come out on top. He doesn't think anybody can best him, because only one pitcher can stand on the mound, as we know. But starting off in this chapter, we have Sawamura. Obviously, he got that first out previously, last chapter, against Kosei. And now he's facing the bottom of the lineup, ninth batter, and he gets him out with several pitches. And what is cool about this sequence specifically is that you see Sawamura, TJ Sensei focuses on the grip he's using on both pitches, and at first he gets him with a low and away with the 2-finger pitch, 2-seamer I think, and then the third pitch to get him out is a 3-finger pitch, almost like a whole full grip, but we see it as 3 fingers. And that was really cool aspect of this chapter, where we really see Sawamura's book of plays on display. His full catalog of pitching is on display in this chapter. So we're really seeing it not only as his resolve in this chapter, in the last chapter, we're really seeing how far he's come in terms of his ability to paint the corners and grab into his toolbox, which is a phrase a lot of sports people use, like, what's in your toolbox, what can you do? Because if you can only throw a breaking ball or a fastball, you'll get exposed eventually, and we're seeing that there's no pitch really that Sawamura can't go to right now, and he's on fire, of course. And he eventually gets him out, so now the count's 2 outs, and we go to, following that second out, we come up with, the top of the lineup comes up with not Chufuyu, that's Tokyo Revengers, Chimura-san, I think I got that right. He comes up to bat, and we notice that he immediately fouls the first pitch, and with this batter, we're seeing Sawamura kind of pitch more aggressively to get an out, and Chimura thinks he can get a hit off Sawamura because he can target a fastball, because he was using breaking balls earlier in the match, and we see that's not the case. That he immediately gets he leads with Chimura strikeout swinging, and that's 3 outs for the chapter and 3 outs for the inning, and they're switching over, but we see Sawamura strike out all 3 batters. The last pitch to get Chimaru out is the disappearing pitch that goes down the middle and cuts to the inside, so that ball makes him strike out swinging. And during this exchange that Sawamura is pitching against Chimaru, sorry, he's talking about the weight and the resolve needed for SEIDOU to get to the national championship. More specifically, he talks about, don't think it's so light, this resolve of ours. We're just getting on our way to a national championship. This is just a checkpoint. Don't think you have us pressed or that we're going to falter here. And he has a SEIDOU soul on his undercap for his baseball cap. So we see in this chapter Sawamura really just expressing the weight and the bearing on his shoulders and the pitcher's shoulders for this team. And he really understands the grander scheme of things, and he understands this isn't the place to get tripped up. This isn't their final destination at all. So we're seeing both his maturity and his pitching bag of tricks, or a bag of tools, I should say, on display in this chapter. And with that, when the strikeout swing and his commentary on what it means to be, you know, what SEIDOU is, we end the chapter. Now, this chapter specifically, going on to what this chapter tells us, it's telling us that Sawamura, Kawakami, and Furia, the three main pitchers. I think Kaneda is the fourth pitcher, but he's on the cover page too. But the three main pitchers, the pillars of SEIDOU's pitching, are all one right now. That's what this chapter is really telling us, because before we've seen the pitchers kind of pitch somewhat selfishly, not entirely, but they've never shown the resolve to fight as one. It always felt like they were trying to get ahead, trying to win, but get ahead of, specifically Sawamura and Furia getting ahead of each other, and Kawakami not falling behind his first years. But what TJ Sensei is showing us with this chapter specifically is that now the pitchers are all in one mind. Now they're all ready, no matter what it takes, no matter what they have to do, they're ready to bear the responsibility of losing and winning a national championship. They're ready to go forward through the national championship tournament as one team. And I think that's really what this chapter is showing us. It's showing us that nobody's out for one person, nobody's out for themselves. They're all in it for SEIDOU, the baseball team. And I really think with Sawamura's commentary and his pitching, Furia's words of "there's always a next time as long as we win," that's still Furia's way of pitching, is as long as you produce results. But he has the right mindset now of you don't experience a frustration of losing if you win, obviously. And Kawakami's fighting on the side of, even though he can't pitch in the game right now because of his potential injury and his injury right now, Furia told him, there's always a chance as long as we keep winning. But even if Kawakami can't pitch for the tournament, he's still doing something. So that really is showing me through this whole chapter that there's weight on their shoulders and they're not too weak for it, and they're all linked together to face the challenges ahead. And I really love this chapter for that. I think that's the main takeaway of this chapter. It's just the pitchers of SEIDOU are all of one mind. And I think we're seeing that on full display this week. We see that especially with the ending words that Sawamura thinks, not says, but he thinks that's not just one person's soul either. It's I think it completely takes the point home of what TJ Sensei is trying to tell us about not only this match, but going forward. Like I said last chapter review, I think this is what the final form of SEIDOU's pitching will look like going forward. I think this is kind of what he's showing what Sawamura will look like going forward in the tournament. No kind of weird off games or slip ups. It's just going to be pitching duels after pitching duels. Now, as for the batting, I don't think we've seen the final form yet. I still think we got to have a moment of like, this isn't us. This isn't what we're going to fall at. This isn't our level at all. And somebody gets a home run or I think we still need to see more from the batters in terms of their resolve. But I think that's coming up next. So we'll see that, I think. And that's it for what the chapter is telling us and the summary of it. In terms of art this chapter, I think obviously TJ Sensei's on point as always. I love his use of shadows and weight. He's really good at impacts, and I think his greatest strength besides his, kind of just his shadowing is his ability to storyboard. I think his use of panels and panel placement is probably his greatest strength, is just how the chapter flows, how each page flows. I think he's really, really good at that, because especially with the fingers on the ball, pitch, strikeout, next page. I think he's really good at setting up a sequence, which is impressive because baseball is a sport that starts with the pitcher. It initiates and then it ends. It's not really a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 play normally like something like a volleyball or a basketball. It's not a free-flowing sport. So sometimes it can come up as kind of dull, but TJ Sensei masterfully kind of shows us how to make a pitching exchange very interesting. And I think the artwork in this chapter is especially good this week, especially, like I said, with the fingers on the ball, the shadowing, the impacts of the strikes, and just the characters' faces. I think the artwork of this week is especially good, and I just wanted to mention that for the artwork this week. And with that, guys, we are on a break next week, so no chapter. I should have a video coming out on... Y'all are clowning on my... I see a lot of posts, especially on Reddit.
It's time to stop!
About Furia and Saramura, so I think I might finally make a short video about what's going on with that, why they need each other, that rivalry. I don't know if it will be the full one I've been meaning to make yet, but I should have something coming out with Saramura and Furia next week. And this should be the last review, hopefully, I'm hoping, guys, with my mask. I had dental surgery, so that's why I've been wearing these masks in these videos for a while. It took a while to heal, and I didn't want you guys to see my mouth like that. But this should be the last review. I'm hoping, guys, wish me luck without this mask. But yeah, that's it for this week, guys. Let me know what you thought about the chapter in the comments. Like the video. Hit the subscribe button if you like Diamond No Ace content and want to see more of it. If you like the video, guys, I'd appreciate it. Later.